Todd B, if the big runs continue, do you think they will play bullet full time and just have them drop back and play cleanup? Todd, that is a good question. I'm going to presume that the big runs are not going to continue because something about that Schiano defense, they just didn't seem like they were gap sound at times. They left too many times. They overran plays. The backside. What would happen in the Maryland game with McFarland, in my recollection, was they would run a guy in motion and they'd move a guy across the formation on the other side. And then you have guys running routes from the left hash to the far boundary. And you've got OSU guys running like crazy to cover the far boundary, and there's nobody back on the backside to cover the backside. And that's how McFarland, on 2 of his long runs against Ohio State, I don't think you're going to have a defense where they're going to completely vacate an entire side of the field and basically leave one guy there who can get chopped down and stop an 80-yard touchdown. And so I think it's going to be perhaps a little bit more of a sound defense. Maybe you get away with running whatever that was that Schiano was running in the NFL. The heck if I know. I don't know what that was at times. I'm sure he'd stand here and pound the thing where we told the kids in practice and throughout the week they had to be ready for this or that, but I didn't see it. So I don't think you have to worry about that. I think they're gonna clean that up.
If the base defense would be Brendan White as that bullet, which is basically an outside Sam linebacker. And in that alignment, they'll generally have the strong safety up playing a slot. So it's almost like a 4-4 look with one deep safety, which should, you would think, help them hold up against the run. You know, obviously we'll see, and it still comes down to making those tackles, which was an issue last year. And a lot of times last year, that last line of defense being Isaiah Pryor was a step slow or 2 steps too slow, or took a bad angle. You clean up that angle and you have just a simpler defensive scheme, and everybody becomes a lot faster, a lot quicker, and the defense is much more effective. And I think that's what we all expect to happen, just because there's going to be less moving parts, but less thinking about having to move those parts.
Yep. Let's see here. Comments about Justin Fields. He's nasty. Felt very confident about the game as a Michigan fan until they brought Fields into the fold. Well, that's interesting. Lego on Fuego made that comment, and we'll see what a running quarterback can do against that Michigan defense. I guess that's an interesting way to look at it. Fields will bring the balance to the offense that the team is looking for. And Justin Fields is going to have a good time in a Ryan Day offense. Fields is definitely a better thrower than Braxton Miller. So there you go. That was a few observations that some fans
I think Michigan fans are right to be concerned about Justin Fields. They have issues with running quarterbacks and they have issues with crossing routes, because they play that man-to-man defense. And once those guys turn their backs on the ball, then the quarterback can run upfield, as Braxton Miller did a lot, as JT Barrett has done. Or, last week or last year we saw, and the year before when Dwayne Haskins came in, those crossing routes to KJ Hill, to Chris Olave, that puts their defense in a tough situation when they're playing man. So I think when we do see that game, there won't be as much man from Michigan. I think that you give up 62 points and you start to lessons have to be learned.